Hello students, and welcome to your Week 2 activity instructional video. This is the last assignment in the Week 2 folder, besides the optional honors assignment that you can worry about if you are doing the honors course. But again, remember those are optional. The Week 2 activity is a little bit larger compared to the other activities we've done. Therefore, it is in a content folder to make sure all the material that goes with it is together. In order to access your folder of materials, you'll need to click on the Week 2 activity. There's been a crime title link, and that will open the folder for you. At the top of the folder, there is an overview of the crime. Make sure that you read this completely, and I also suggest taking notes on anything that's important that sticks out to you as well. Next, you'll scroll down and you'll notice there is an evidence voice thread for you as well. Similar to the overview, I do recommend taking notes and writing down important information as you go through the voice thread. Now you'll notice that the voice thread is embedded into Blackboard for you. You can use this voice thread if you want, or you can click on the voice thread link here, and that'll open a larger scale of the voice thread up for you. The voice thread has 13 slides. It has a lot of important information within it, including evidence, the gizmo, and the tests that you'll be doing. So I do recommend watching this. You will need to have that information in order to write your report completely. Now, if you find you have any troubles viewing this voice thread, I suggest clicking the sign in button here. Or if you're using the larger tab, you can sign in using this option here. And to sign into VoiceThread, you'll use your username and password that you would otherwise use for Blackboard or for your Minos classes. Once you're done with the overview and evidence VoiceThread and you have all the notes that you want, you'll scroll down to here, and this is where your assignment submission box as well as the directions on what I want you to complete will be found. So you'll click on this Week 2 activity. There's been a crime directions PDF file, and that'll open into a new tab for you. We're going to be using our Explore Learning website and the Gizmo simulations that we use for chemistry. So you'll want to make sure that you have your username and password that you created from the Getting Started folder. If you have yet to do that assignment, please be sure to go back to the Getting Started folder and create your Explore Learning account. You will not be able to do this activity without it. Once you have your username and password, you'll click on this link to go to Explore Learning. You'll log in using your username and password that you created. And then once you're logged in, you'll select the Chemistry tab, which is the course you're in, and look for the gizmo called Mystery Powder Analysis. That is going to be the gizmo you will use. Now, the goal for this assignment is ultimately you are a forensic toxicologist. You are performing lab experiments on certain known and unknown substances, and you will be providing your professional opinion to the court in order to verify who did the crime or who didn't. Now, your report that you will submit, and ultimately what you would submit to the court, is going to have a little bit of evidence as well as other pieces of information. Your report should include any background information or notes that you took on the overview and evidence slides. You will also need to explain what tests you do in your lab, and that can be found in the evidence voice thread for those of you who need it. You'll also make sure that you write a procedure and steps on how you performed these tests on both your known and unknown substance. So make sure that when you write your procedure and steps that you follow that specific rule that we did back in Week 1, where you want to make sure you're providing specific steps. When you are performing your experiment, you will need to make sure you provide a data table. Your data table should include all 5 of your known substances, and you can include your unknown substance in that table, or you can have a separate table for your unknown. It's entirely up to you. But you need to have a data table or data tables within your report. Make sure with your unknown substance, you tell me which unknown you completed. There is more information on that in the evidence voice thread. So again, make sure you don't skip that because it's going to give you more information on this piece. Make sure you perform your experiment, collect your data, and then at the end you're going to write your conclusion. This is going to be your professional conclusion on whether or not the unknown that you had was a pure substance or a mixture. You need to make sure you're supporting your opinion on how you knew whether it was a pure substance or mixture, meaning you need to supply your data to back up your opinion. Then you want to make sure you talk about who your suspect or suspects could be and why. Are there possible other scenarios for your suspects? Does that mean you could have more than one scenario and you're simply a piece of the puzzle to solve the crime? And then you need to make sure that you include any sources of error. What things could have gone wrong? Was it a human error? Was it a mechanical error? What sources of error could possibly be within your experiment? So again, briefly, you want to make sure you're providing any notes or evidence. You need to explain the test that you are doing. You need to have a procedure with steps that you took for your known and unknown. You need to have a data table for your known and unknown. And then you need to make sure you take data down or your observations and then write your conclusion. So that's going to be what you need to have in your report. Now, with your report, I'm pretty lenient on this. You can either type a Word document, you can handwrite a document and make sure that it's legible so I can read it. And you can either submit that by scanning it and saving a file or taking a picture and saving a file. You can choose to do a PowerPoint presentation with your information. You can make a VoiceThread presentation with your information and include an oral voiceover where you're talking. You can create a video of yourself presenting information or any other methods that you can think of, as long as you supply this information within your report. You can complete your report in multiple ways. That is going to be what you're going to need to submit in order to finish this activity. Now, I can't stress enough, you guys, you need to make sure that you're using that evidence VoiceThread. I have a lot more information in there on later slides. So make sure you don't skip that. Otherwise, some of these pieces might be a little confusing for you. Now, when you're ready and your report is done, you'll come back to the Week 2 activity folder and you'll click on this Week 2 activity. There's been a crime title link. That's going to open the Dropbox for you. And if you have a file that you're going to submit, whether it's a PowerPoint or a written report picture or scanned file, or if it's a Microsoft Word document, anything that's a file that is saved onto your computer, you're going to need to use the Browse My Computer option. And you'll click that and it'll open your personal computer files and you will find your file, whichever one it may be. Click open and that will attach your file here. If you have a VoiceThread that you made or any separate link that you might have, whether you uploaded a video to YouTube, for example, or made a VoiceThread and you have a link that you're going to supply instead, you'll click this Write Submission bar and then you can paste your link into the submission text here. Whenever you're ready and you have your file uploaded or your link pasted here, you'll click the blue Submit button and that's going to submit to me for grading your project or your activity. If you find you get stuck or have any questions, please make sure that you email me or text me or meet with me and collaborate so I can help you with this. Just because it is a more in-depth activity doesn't mean that I don't help you with it. So make sure if you get stuck that you ask me for help. Otherwise, good luck. Once you're done with this, if you are not going to be doing the honors assignments, you can go ahead and start in Week 3 if it's open. Otherwise, please note on the PACE chart when Week 3 folder will open for you.